Upper90studios.com.
Fantasy Premier League tips and cheats. Welcome back to another FPL video where today we'll reveal our Game Week 2 transfers. We'll show you what to do if you're falling behind in FPL. We'll confirm our transfers live in the video, plus 2 bonuses. An injury report on a key defender, something no one else has picked up on, and we're going to reveal our watch list live. All the top FPL tips to give you a competitive advantage. So what do you do if you're falling behind in FPL? The first step is to identify the mistakes from our initial squad selection. Not an easy thing to admit, but we're going to go through our team now. When we look at our Game Week 1 points, we see a problem with Alonso and Klaassen. We actually discussed their individual and team performances in detail on our weekly blog at Upper90studios.com. Now Alonso, that's an easier mistake to accept because no one could have predicted a red card to Cahill after 13 minutes. Despite playing a man down for most of the match, Alonso still had a few chances to score. But we do apologize for those who followed our differential tip, Klaassen. The idea was to set a strong team core, then bring in 1 to 2 key differentials to set the team apart, and it backfired completely. We're not even going to bring up the fact that Klaassen was subbed off at 59 minutes and 58 seconds. Not bitter about that at all. Another big mistake was not investing in a Liverpool attacker. Mane, Salah, and Firmino combined for 3 goals and 2 assists. We make mistakes like everyone else, and the Premier League is only getting more unpredictable as we just saw with the newly promoted teams Game Week 1. The most important thing is to always trust your instinct over anyone's advice. The best way to use someone else's tips is to have your plan already in mind. Then you can use tips and advice to confirm your ideas or to check if you missed anything. But the worst thing you can do is to copy someone else's full team and transfers every week, because you learn at a faster rate when you make your own mistakes. It's okay to test out different strategies from us or whoever else you follow. Then you can see which strategies match your fantasy style best. But there's no worse feeling than making a mistake because you followed someone else's advice. When you trust yourself and things go wrong, at least you go down on your own terms. Trusting our own instinct and judgment is a key reason for why the Upper 90 Studios fantasy team has finished in the top 1 to 2% of all players for the past 10 years. Now that we admitted the mistakes, it's easier to move forward. So let's prioritize the problems and create an action plan. It's always a good idea to draw up some mock-ups, 2 or 3 drafts to see which team has the highest point scoring potential. And let's go through some of them now, live. Load up the team. So we identified Alonso and Klaassen as the 2 major problems in our squad. Let's see if there's a way to solve it all at once. Well, what if we were to look at a cheaper defender option, like Hegazi? 6'5", plays for West Brom, a team that excels at set pieces. Klaassen, take him out. Now we can bring in maybe some Liverpool cover, which we made a mistake not to bring in Game Week 1. But now we have 1.4 remaining because Hegazi went up in price a few hours ago. What this does now is remember that we had in mind Walker, Kolasinac, Valencia. So what we can do now is looking at our fixtures, and we have a fixture difficulty cheat sheet available on our website. It's a free download, Upper90studios.com. So what we do is we notice that on our fixture difficulty cheat sheet, it shows that Daniels has a good fixture Game Week 2, and then things get trickier starting Game Week 3. So let's say if we were to upgrade him to someone like Valencia. Okay, we're short 0.1. Okay, no problem. Okay, well, we can look in the midfield here. We have Milivojevic, who was disappointing in his first game. He was actually sacrificed at halftime because Crystal Palace were doing so poorly. So we can take him out. We can look at a cheap option like Tom Carroll, Swansea. 4.5, and there it is. 0.4 remaining in the bank. And now we have Hegazi, Bertrand, Valencia, Salah, De Bruyne, Eriksen, Lukaku, Kane, Matic, Carroll. No bench cover. Foster in goal. Not bad. I think it's an improvement. -4 hit, transfer hit. And I think that's the plan. But we don't have to do this now. We can spread this out over a few weeks. And what we can do now is maybe confirm Hegazi. And then later in the week, after watching Salah play in the Champions League, because he travels to Germany, midweek, and we have a better assessment closer to deadline. And finally, act early and take risks. Player prices change so quickly now as fantasy managers make their transfers early in the week. The only way to fight this is by going even bigger. We take even more risks. Of course, everything within reason. Since we started playing fantasy in 2007-08, we've never taken greater than a -12 transfer hit in a single game week. So with some planning, you can also spread out the transfers over a few weeks while minimizing the hits. And let's confirm our transfers now. So here's our team. Click the transfers tab. Alonso, Agassi. Done. Bonus number 1, injury report. There's a top scoring defender from game week 1. He scored 8 points, earned a clean sheet and bonus points, and that's Southampton's Ryan Bertrand. Now, no one's talking about this, but when he was subbed off at 85 minutes, we noticed that he was limping, and he signaled to the bench prior to coming off. And then he went straight down the tunnel. Of course, it could be just precautionary, and we're not going to pretend to know his fitness status, but every little factor counts in FPL. So if you have him in your team, be careful not to make too many early transfers in case he's ruled out. Hopefully we're going to have an update during Pellegrino's press conference so we can make the changes. Also check your bench cover now to see if your subs featured on game week 1. Ours didn't, which is not ideal, but it's fair given the way we set up our team because we favored a strong starting 11 versus having a deeper bench. Now if your bench defenders didn't play game week 1, which is the case in our team, then it's time to start planning on bringing in some 90-minute regulars because we have more information now. For those who have Bertrand on their watch list, consider waiting until closer to deadline for confirming this transfer. Of course, unless price changes force your hand, then it's up to you to take that risk. Now, we're really excited to announce plans for U90 FPL tool. It's a proprietary tool to be launched very soon, which is going to feature injury reports along with the most accurate player projections in the game. We're aiming for a beta launch by Christmas with a full launch next season. Big things happening at Upper 90 Studios. Bonus number 2, Watchlist. Here's our full watch list as promised. Use it to create different drafts and ideas for Game Week 2. We also have a blog post with Game Week 2 tips and cheats, which covers different topics not discussed in this video. Be sure to check it out at upper90studios.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our email list. Click the Fantasy Premier League tab at upper90studios.com. If you're on the computer, it's at the top right of the page. If you're on the phone, it's at the bottom. See you soon.